Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime and it is time to brawl, and it's also time for an update. Honestly, this is happening like an entire week sooner than I thought it was going to be happening, so that's actually pretty exciting. My guess is they're doing it in preparation for the World Championship. It's happening so fast I don't even have time to make a speculation video, so just pretend that I guessed it all right anyway. I mean, that's usually what happens. By the way, I wanted to give a huge thank you to Supercell for giving me an early look at Brawl Talk so that I could give you guys a full breakdown of the newest brawler, Lou, as well as cover everything you need to know about the update. Lou is the newest Chromatic Brawler and is going to be available in Brawl Stars' 4th season pass, which is going to be called Holiday Getaway. By the way, they say that all of your holiday dreams come true if you use code Kairos to brawl the 4th season pass, so make sure you do that because the code expires after 7 days. Kairos, code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. Happy Brawler Days. Lou completes the Snowtail trio with Mr. P and Gale, and he makes snow cones. My very first job was at a snow cone shack, so I kind of feel like Lou's a pretty cool guy. Now for each ammo, he throws out 3 snow cones that deal 532 damage. If all 3 of them hit a target, the enemy will take 1,596 damage, which is actually pretty similar to the damage that Gale or Jackie can do with 1 ammo. Now with 3 ammo, Lou will be able to take out over half of the brawlers in the game, up to and including Tara and Jean. All 9 projectiles will have to hit, but this does give you guys a good idea of how much damage Lou can do. What's even more impressive is that Lou has a long range of about 9 tiles, which is the same as Pam's attack, but the damage is obviously a little bit more concentrated. But what is unique to Lou is that enemies that will get hit by his attack will get a cold status applied to them. If they get hit by enough of Lou's attacks, they will freeze and will not be able to move or attack. Now I measured how long Brock was frozen for, and it was for 1 second flat. Obviously this is subject to change for the update, but even just 1 second of being frozen can be deadly. We didn't see any brawlers get frozen from only attacks because his super actually helped freeze Brock a little bit, but I think that 9 projectiles is going to be about what it takes to freeze an enemy. Now I want you to pay attention to this Brock right here. He got hit once, and then after he didn't get hit for a while, his cold status slowly went down over time. So in order for Lou to freeze a brawler, he has to have concentrated fire on them. My guess is that the cold status also completely resets if a brawler dies. As you can see, Lou's super also applies cold status on enemies caught in it over a period of time, which you can see right here. Now his super doesn't deal any damage to enemies, but it does make the ground slippery, and as you can see, Brock tried to change directions while being caught in the super, and he ended up moonwalking a while before getting frozen. So unlike Spike's super, where it's best to try and escape to the closest edge of the super, it's gonna be much better for you to just keep moving in the direction that you're going, which is going to make movement very predictable when enemies are inside this super. We never got to see how long the ground stays slippery for, but my guess is it's gonna be a very long time, probably even longer than Sandy's super. If I'm right, this super is going to offer a lot of control in Gem Grab, Brawl Ball, and Siege. Now Lou has 3,920 health at max level, which is the same as Dynamite, Colt, and Gale. That's not a ton of health, but he's not gonna be the most squishy brawler, and I think that as long as he's gonna be able to keep his distance from enemies, he'll be just all right. Now I was able to measure his reload speed at about 1.6 seconds. That's actually pretty fast. It's similar to Crow's or Gale's reload speed, so when you're playing Lou, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about conserving ammo very much. One very important thing to mention is the fact that you will no longer be able to unlock a Chromatic Brawler for the current season from boxes for free until after you've reached tier 30 for that season. Chromatic Brawlers from previous seasons will still be able to unlock no matter what. Now I know that this is going to be a bummer for most people, but I actually think that it's the right call. Now hear me out for a second. It honestly felt really weird reaching tier 30 and basically getting nothing if you had already unlocked the Chromatic Brawler from a box. And it also kind of feels bad if you're a pass holder who worked really hard to get tier 30 to unlock the new brawler when your friend randomly got it from a free box on day 1, right? Obviously, it was exciting to get the brawler from a lucky box before tier 30, and I'm personally bummed because it means that I'm gonna have to gem to tier 30 in order for me to do my box opening challenges. By the way, let me know in the comment section below what you think I should do for this challenge. But I do understand Brawl Stars' reasoning behind it, and I think that it is solid game design. Now, you guys know that I have been very open whenever I disagree with Supercell, and that's actually led to very specific improvements made to the game. One specific example is when they put the Brawl Pass in the game, and I did all the math and realized that token doublers were not as valuable as they were. So I went to Supercell and I told you guys, hey guys, you got to change this. This is not right. They're less valuable. And they actually decreased the price for token doublers in the shop because of that. This is just one example of many times where I've openly disagreed with Supercell. And if I disagreed with Supercell on this point, I would tell you guys, it's a bummer, but I can actually support Supercell's decision because it makes a lot of sense from the game design point of view. I also think it makes a lot of sense that unlocking a Chromatic Brawler from a box will now lower your legendary luck drop rate, just like all the other brawlers in the game. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that it didn't, and that they didn't do it from the start like that. It felt really strange to unlock Amber after only like so few boxes because my legendary drop rate was so high despite unlocking all of my Chromatic Brawlers through boxes. Now let's talk about some upcoming changes to the map maker, which I think are going to change the game forever. You will now be able to submit maps that you have made so that the world can play them. And my guess is that player submitted maps are eventually going to make their way into the permanent rotation in game. Here are the 5 steps to how I think it's going to work. Step 1, create a map. Step 2, play it with your friends. After you play with them, this pop-up will show up to your friends and they will be able to decide to either approve or deny the map. If enough of them approve it, it'll be published. Step 3, go to your mode selector and choose to play the new test slot where players can try maps without having to worry about trophies or anything like that. After people play your map, they will be able to give the map a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Now, I'm not really sure why there are 10 tokens next to the vote. I would be surprised if Supercell made voting cost tokens. So I think the players are going to be awarded tokens for voting on maps at least a certain number of times per day. As a side note, since trophies don't matter when you're testing maps, we finally have a casual mode where it's gonna be really nice for you to be able to play with your friends that like are at a different trophy level or a different skill level, because it doesn't matter if you win or lose, you just go and have some fun with it and test the maps out. Step 4, if your map is the highest rated map of the day, it will be put into an event slot for 24 hours where people will be able to play on it and compete for trophies. Now, this wasn't mentioned in Brawl Talk, but I'm guessing that Supercell is going to be looking at the play rates for those maps when they are played for those 24 hours, and the maps that are played the most are very likely going to be introduced into the next rotation for the next season. Like I said, I am so excited about this change, and I really do think that it is going to change the future of Brawl Stars forever, because we are always going to be playing the best maps all the time. But the good news is it doesn't stop there. We're now going to be able to make maps for Bounty or Heist, so the ones we're missing are Hot Zone, Siege, and Duo Showdown. And we are now going to be able to place jump pads and teleporters in our custom maps. Now, this wasn't specifically said in Brawl Talk, but they did show that some tiles were being mirrored diagonally. So I think it's safe to say that mirroring diagonally is now going to be an option in the map maker, which is awesome. These are huge improvements to the map maker, and I think they're just going to need to make a few other small changes here or there in order for them to call it, well, no longer call it a beta version. I'm looking forward to someday being able to search for certain maps, whether they're serious competitive maps or just like silly game mode maps. And it's very clear that we need to somehow be able to copy maps from other people just by like either with a code or like a link or something like that. I think it's just a matter of time before that happens. Who knows? Maybe it's happening this update and they just didn't talk about it in Brawl Talk, but I'll share that information with you guys as soon as Supercell lets me. Now let's talk about skins. I think that Bellhop Mike is probably going to cost 150 gems. This isn't confirmed, but it's my guess based off of the animations and things like that that are in game. He throws suitcases, and I don't know what he's throwing with his super. Maybe it's like a miniature version of the Snowtail or something like that. Let me know what you guys think that is. King Lou will be a skin that is going to be in the Brawl Pass once you reach a certain tier, and we're getting some more line skins. Sally Nani, Choco Piper, and Coney Max. Now, I'm not sure how much these are going to cost, but I am excited to see them because I'm fairly certain that the line partnership with Brawl Stars has been going very well. I'm also excited to see the True Gold and True Silver skins getting a little bit more blingy. I hope that those effects are going to be in game as well. My guess is that they will be. And then, of course, we have the new environment. I'm not sure if it's the Baggage Blaster environment or the Snowtail environment or just a snow environment, but this environment is a frosty, snowy environment, which actually looks pretty cool. If you look off to the side, you'll see the Baggage Blaster roller coaster, which is what we saw in the investor video that kind of took over Brawl Talk. And at the bottom of the map, you'll see some binoculars. I think the park guests are going to be able to use these to watch the brawlers fight against each other for some reason. And then, of course, we have the Brawl Stars World Finals happening on November 21st and 22nd that you are not going to want to miss. And that is everything that I was able to uncover from Brawl Talk. It seems like this update is probably going to be a little bit smaller, but I'm not actually surprised because we had a pretty decent one last time, and who knows, maybe there's more that Supercell hasn't shared yet, guys. I'm going to be doing some sneak peeks, and the only thing you have to do to find out what's coming is subscribe, turn on the notification bell, use code KairosTime Brawl Stars Shop. Oh, that's not a requirement, but It would certainly make my holiday wishes come true. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.